Hello, everybody. Mario, the Bitcoin Chef here. I'd like to talk to you this morning about the future price of Bitcoin, where it's at, and my take on where it was and I think where it's going. First and foremost, as a disclaimer, I am not a financial prognosticator. I'm not a mathematician expert. These are just some basic observations I've made about some of the data that I've accumulated the last couple months to understand some of the correlations of different price points, charts, industries, etc. To figure out where Bitcoin is going, you got to kind of look where it was. And I look at the chart I made here. Again, it's just a superficial chart, and I know all the numbers aren't exactly correct according to the months and the years where Bitcoin made its peaks and its valleys. I get it, but just a basic overall chart. In that, we know that Bitcoin started here way back in the day, 8, 9 years ago, at less than $1. We've seen this progressive rise of Bitcoin over the last 8, 9 years. It had its peaks and its valleys because of good news, bad news, because of the Mt. Gox debacle and some of the Wild West aspects of it, and regulatory agencies not really understanding the methodology of Bitcoin. But in the last several months or 6 months or so, we've seen a lot of that Wild West aspect of cyber currency or cryptocurrencies in general sort of level out. And we see mainstream people in various industries, especially banking, regulatory agencies, and all sorts of technologies, accepting the blockchain methodology. And it's something that we just can't avoid. It's here, it's growing. So Bitcoin has responded in respects to that good news, or that more readily acceptance global news of Bitcoin. And we see a $2,500 today price of Bitcoin in reflection to that confidence. Did you know that just a few weeks ago we saw a $2,750 peak of Bitcoin at one point? I noticed during the middle of the night, I watched this, that there was an institution that stepped in at $2,300 and bought $1 billion worth of Bitcoin. I don't know who that was, but it spiked momentarily to $2,700 and filled all those standing orders, if you will, at ridiculous prices. So we see that the demand is there. So in respects to the demand of Bitcoin, I want to talk about the global market cap. As you may know, that consists of, what is the global market cap? Well, the market cap is how much money is out there in currency per se, in dollars and euros and yens and yuans, what have you. From my estimation, we're looking at an $80 trillion global market currency existence, or index, if you will. And that's approximate. Again, $80 trillion. Of that, of that, currently 62 billion of it exists with Bitcoin and alternate coins. So if you try to do the numbers on that, which I've tried to do in my head in a calculator, it's a little hard. At one point back in the day, as you see this line here, alternate coins, Bitcoins represented, 500 million, maybe $1 billion in global market cap, which is a speck of sand in respects to the 80 trillion. However, back in 15, we had a little bit of a phenomenon in that we grabbed $4 billion of that global market cap. Still an insignificant number. However, quite the increase. I just rubbed that off. But the real aha moment was back in 215, 216 midway, when we grabbed $15 billion worth of that global market cap and started to get the attention of people. That has since doubled in early 2017. We've gone to $24 billion at certain peaks early 2017. Get this, folks, as of last week, we're hovering roughly around $62 billion of that $80 trillion inventory. So now if you do your numbers in respects to the 80 trillion overall, still 62 billion is a relatively insignificant amount. But when you do the math, 62 billion represents 7/100ths of a percent of the total global market cap. And what has that done as far as the disparity between price of Bitcoin and the global market cap, et cetera? I've tried to study the numbers, and I see that they're flowing consistently with each other. As the Bitcoin price goes up and as the global market cap inventory increases, they both seem to be hovering around the same growth chart pattern. So here's what I see. Bitcoin at 62 billion market cap is hovering at $2,500 in price. So with that said, common sense would tell me if the history is right, and if the analytics are correct, and if the supply and demand aspect of global currency is true to its, its history and the current charts, and the disparity is synonymous with each other in the ups and downs. Again, these are just assumptions. I would have to say that in the event that Bitcoin or altcoins in general, we're talking Ethereum coin, Ripple coin, Litecoin, Dashcoin, Dogecoin, all those coins, 750 plus and growing, which is a phenom, by the way, if those coins in general, in that larger umbrella, if they reach the $124 billion mark, which, folks, the way it's going, I don't see that as an unrealistic number. So if we see $124 billion in global market cap presence of currency being crypto style, we could see, again, hypothetically, if the numbers continue in their current rate, we could see a $5,000 Bitcoin price in the very near future. Now, I want to propose, I keep messing this up, I want to propose something else. What if the crypto market cap goes into the half percentage range, 0.5% of total global market cap of 80 trillion. That would have to be 50 times its current rate, which is not unusual. It could happen the way it's going. If that's true, Bitcoin could see a $2.5 million price point if the numbers are going the same direction. If the world allows this technology to continue to grow, you could see that price. And many economists and prognosticators tell us, that if Bitcoin grabs 1% of the global market cap, that's 100 times its current existing rate, we could see a $5 million Bitcoin. So when I heard these pundits on the internet and various chat rooms talking about a $5 million Bitcoin price, I kind of mused about 5 months ago. But when you see the analytics of it and you understand, the rapidly growing acceptance of blockchain technology, just for a few facts, the top 10 banks in Europe are now embracing, the Ripple coin as possibly their method of payment systems. We see Fortune 500 companies investing in Bitcoin. We see Bill Gates endorsing Bitcoin. Warren Buffett has changed his opinion on Bitcoin. We now have Japan accepting it as a legal currency. We now have, in July of 2017, Australia is going to recognize Bitcoin as a legal method of currency. We see country after country embracing. We see the SEC in America and the IRS now chiming in on their position, how they're going to posture themselves with this inevitable technology. So, again, I'm not a crystal ball guy. I'm not a financial advisor. However, I'm just being observant on the current numbers and charts that I see. And quite honestly, folks, it looks quite optimistic. That's why I've decided to be involved in Bitcoin in some capacity, and I think it's part of our future. I think you should investigate it as well. I'm also involved in some other trading platforms and other cryptocurrency activities. If you like what you hear and you think that you'd like to be involved on a small level and you need a coach or a friend to help you, I'd love to chat with you. Give me a call on the phone number below. We could talk about your future in Bitcoin or cyber currency. If not, click on my links below, like me on Facebook. I'd like to become friends and get to help you down the road with this emerging technology that is literally unavoidable. Hope you have a great day. Again, this is Mario, the Bitcoin Chef. All the best to you.